5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Strange Planet Podcast.
Oh, hey.
I always do that.
There we are.
Just switch these.
Hey. All right.
Hey, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2019.
I thought you were going to forget for a second.
No.
I thought you were stalling. Yeah, the first day of the new year here for you special on the Strange Planet Podcast. Welcome you. And welcome you guys to the
Hi,
Strange
everybody.
Planet Podcast, the strangest of all the podcasts on the strangest of all the planets. We are your hosts. This is...
Corey James.
And I'm Anthony Zevatek. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, just did the new year. All across the world.
Yeah, is the New Year's not the same day everywhere though, is it? I think China has a different.
In
New
New
Year's.
Zealand, it would be like our 31st.
Well, I know obviously like from the times or
Right.
the Earth being the hemispheres and stuff is probably different, but I mean like
Chinese New Year.
isn't Chinese New Year actually on a different day?
Yeah, it's
than
in
ours?
it's in like March or something like that. I don't know.
I mean I know that like London and places like that obviously
Right.
are the same as us,
Yeah.
so that's cool.
Yeah. That is cool.
Lots of hungover people all around the world.
How are
today.
you feeling? Are you hungover?
No.
Yeah, I'm not that hungover.
I drank like probably 10 beers.
I drank my normal amount.
A little bottle of Jaeger,
There you
a
go.
little bottle of Jack Daniels,
There you go.
and that was about it.
I bought a bottle of champagne, Champers, for the old midnight, and we had Adam and Gavin over,
Oh.
so that was fun. But yeah, that's like we were in bed by 2.
Yeah,
Laid in bed and
we got-
smoked weed and watched Jurassic Park, and
there you go.
you know.
First movie you watched of 2019. is
Actually,
Jurassic
well,
Park.
I mean, the first movie, because for what we did for midnight, because I don't have cable, of course, so we put on Infinity War.
Oh, you tried that?
It worked.
It nailed it?
9:48 and 51 seconds,
That's cool.
and the snap happened at
I
midnight.
saw a couple people post videos of them doing that online. And I was
So yeah,
like,
we did
that's
that.
cool.
It was cool because we actually we put it on with the intentions of not watching it, just having it on as background noise, hanging out, talking. But then we all ended up just sitting there and watching it, and it was like, hey, this is fine with me. So yeah.
Yeah, we watched the Pens game, and then I got a hold of someone's phone. Then I started DJing music on the
There you
TV
go.
while everybody was wasted, and I was laying on the couch. And then about 10 minutes till midnight, I threw up a stream of the ball and
That's it.
headed home afterward.
That's what I was gonna put up a
Stella stayed
stream.
awake the entire time.
That's a trooper right there. A party animal. Party animal.
She was balls to the wall till about 1 a.m. and then she was
Out.
not having it.
Yeah.
She was just hysterically crying for no reason. just one of those things like she didn't know she was tired, but we knew she was
Oh
tired.
yeah, oh yeah. They're never the first. They never realize it. They never do. They always think they're just going full strong. Let's get started today. We have a very nice episode. It's very nice.
Yeah, I thought I'd come up with some cool stuff.
Yeah. So for the Our Comics section, we're gonna
Look
take
back.
we're gonna take a little time and look back at the favorites that we picked up this last year. Which between the two of us, we had to have picked up like a couple of hundred comics. Which it was very hard for me. Before I left, I was sitting at my box
Trying to
and
think about what
Yeah, you know, 'cause
I haven't even really thought about it all that much.
I bought myself a couple of hundred comics this year, and it's hard to narrow it down to exactly what your favorites were. But I think I did some.
I knew your Legion was going to be.
I did I think I did a top 5.
There you
Yeah, top 5. Of course, yeah, X-Men Legacy #1, the Legion comic was amazing, and I'm such a big fan of the character. So.
Hell yeah. It was a good one.
The Incredible Hulk 30th anniversary issue, number 393,
Yeah, you can't beat that.
makes the list, which actually, a lot of them are anniversary issues, because they
Oh,
are
of
just
course.
very
They're
special
just
to me.
beautiful and
Right.
good artwork.
The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 375, the 30th anniversary edition.
I don't know
Oh,
who that was.
yeah. Bags and Ree. If you guys know Bags and Ree, comment below. Fantastic Four, number 358.
It's a good issue.
30th anniversary edition. And one of the coolest ones I picked up this year, X-Men Classic #1.
Hell yeah.
this is just a great comic, great series, #1, can't beat it. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I feel like those were my high marks this year.
I pretty much narrow mine down to the box.
The box, yeah.
I mean, I was like I got a lot of really good stuff this year.
Yeah.
Like different points in time, just picked up some really cool stuff, fleshed out a lot of series. Like those McFarlane Spider-Mans I got at the
Yeah.
flea market that one time. Those are some of my favorites, just because I love the artwork of McFarlane. Anything I get of his are always my favorites.
Yes.
But that box was such a different thing that
That was
I did
so
this
exciting.
year.
Yeah, that was
and
such a
being
new-
and finding the Infinity War.
Yeah.
What was that, #2?
Yes.
In there, it just was awesome.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff in that box, but just to find something like that Infinity War #2 is.
That's the Silver Surfer with Galactus and Eternity on the cover that you
Oh, that
gave
was in
me.
there,
Was almost made the list.
That one has some sick artwork.
Yeah. So, great year for comics for the Strange Planet podcast. 2019 is, of course, going to be even better.
Yeah, we're already upgrading. You can't see.
Yeah, you can't see it, but
but
we've got
things have changed.
we've got monitor here. We've got normal monitor there. We are teching it up. We told you guys we're going to change the world.
Oh, fix the audio from last week. I
Yeah,
apologize
thank you. Yeah,
for that.
last week was if you had trouble listening to it, you weren't alone. But whatever,
Things
right?
happen.
Things happen.
And sometimes you can't tell until after.
Things happen.
What do you do? You can't go back.
So let's move on, and we're going to talk about something on the radar
Yeah, boy.
that popped up on my Twitter timeline. the
I'm
other
glad
day.
you reminded me because I knew about this
Right.
and I had read about it a couple weeks back, but I
Yeah.
completely forgot about it.
Yeah,
until you threw it at me.
And I thought that was a great little video they did.
Yeah.
On
It's funny that they've been doing that for like comic books. Like they did that for when the Fantastic Four was coming back. They did a trailer,
Yeah.
and it kind of like catches you off guard. You see a trailer for something,
Right.
and you see Marvel, and you're like, "Oh shit, a new Marvel movie!" And you
something.
click on it, and then you're like, "Oh, it's a comic
Oh,
book."
it's a comic
but it's
book.
still cool. Like they did that for the Daredevil that's coming out.
Well, it's a great place to think about where we could be going eventually down the road.
Yeah, and especially because they seem like they're pushing the movies towards the newer
Right.
content, like
Right.
with Captain Marvel being based off of not the old
No,
series, but the new
2012,
series. Yeah, so like it is a pay attention because the more you're in their comic books and in their stories, the more you're going to be involved with the movies coming out
Right,
and stuff.
exactly. If you don't already know what we're talking about without saying it, we are talking about Marvel's War of the Realms, a new comic book series set to come at us.
April 2019.
That is correct. So it's kind of a mashup.
It's an event,
It's an event.
and that's
You want to go ahead and read us?
well, yeah. Okay, so it's the team. It reunites Jason Aaron and artist Russell Dodderman and the colorist Matt Wilson. They've been working on the Thor and Avengers series for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
They've been building to this. So, good for them
Right.
for building towards something.
Yes.
And the people bashing on them, I understand. It seems like Marvel pushes these events
Yes.
way too often.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
try to focus on pulling all their characters into one story constantly rather than focusing on a single story with a
Right.
single character.
Right.
But in this case, these artists have not done that.
Yeah.
They have, just because you haven't been involved or paying attention to the Thor storyline or Avengers,
Right.
doesn't mean they haven't been doing it.
Yes.
They've been building towards this for 6 years. They deserve to finally blow the lid
Yeah.
on this story and finally open it up.
So, in the War of the Realms, Malekith the Dark Elf has been rampaging across the realms for years, and now he's coming to Midgard. The superheroes of the Marvel Universe make their final stand, and a war begins.
So the War of the Realms is, there has already been a war going on in the Thor storyline.
The mighty Thor, if you want to look it up. And,
Between all the realms.
right.
Asgard and whatever all the other names of the realms are that I don't know. And basically all those places have been at war and are destroyed, and there's nowhere else to go. Midgard which is our realm, which is
Right.
Earth, is the only one that hasn't been affected or touched. So that's the storyline. Is I think I read, or in that trailer, it said that it's going to open up with I forget which character in New York City, looking out the window and a portal opening up in Times Square, and the Dark Elves and a bunch of giants and stuff just come out and start going crazy. And
I know it's quite interesting how Malekith in the comic books, at least, is such a badass.
yeah,
But he got portrayed in the Thor: The Dark World like such an idiot.
why is Captain America riding a winged horse?
Where does Jane Foster come into play?
How does Wolverine get involved?
Why does Daredevil have a sword? And why is he covered in starry lights?
The Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. How does the street level heroes join the fight?
How do Venom, She-Hulk, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, and so many more team up for the war?
And we'll find out and read War of the Realms.
War of the Realms. I'm actually very
It
excited.
sounds like a big,
Yeah.
sweet story.
I'm very excited for this. I will be definitely looking into this this coming April.
Hell yeah.
Keep an eye out for it at your local comic book shop or online.
Yeah, it's
tfaw.com.
it's a thing Marvel has with this year. We talked about it, and we're probably going to talk a little bit about it here again. Is Marvel's comic books this year just kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah.
They tried to push some big names. They tried to bring back Fantastic Four this year.
X-Men.
They brought back the Uncanny X-Men this
Right.
year. The X-Men Black was
Right.
kind of
X-Men Red, X-Men Blue.
X-Men Gold.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully this is their step up, I guess. I mean, it is next year,
Yeah.
so it's a new year, new Marvel.
New Marvel, new year. I'm very excited for it. The artwork on the little article, like the big shot of all of them together, looks really cool. I'm very, very excited. I'm also choking to death over here. All right. War of the Realms. Keep an eye out for that in April. Moving on to Marvel news.
Hey, I'm plugging my phone in.
Plug the phone in.
I can reach anywhere. Here, you take
Why don't you
this.
plug it into your computer?
Because I have no more USB plugs left.
No, that's not a
No, it's an
USB over
HD.
there.
You're probably going to have to control. Hi, guys. Squeeze
Oh,
through.
there's a wiener behind me. Oh, crepes. Thing just came out of nowhere.
That's what she said.
Ah, wow. Hey everybody, look at my fancy Apple Watch.
Well, you're in control now, brother.
There we go. I am the captain now. There it is. There's that wiener's back. All right. Hey,
I'm back.
He's back. Marvel news.
Marvel
news. Marvel news. Had a nice little teaser trailer this
Another little
morning.
teaser.
Netflix dropped a little teaser for the second season of The Punisher.
Yeah.
Did it bright and squirrely on New Year's Day. What'd you think?
I mean, it wasn't much,
Yeah.
but I'm already excited for it.
Right.
It gave it a. What are you hoping for this? Are you hoping for a like a Warzone like dark? Like I don't even know if you can go darker than the second or the first season, but like
Yeah.
there is a feel to Warzone compared to regular Punisher
Right.
that the first season didn't have.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that's where they're probably going to push this second season. Having a villain like Jigsaw
Yeah.
being one of the biggest villains in Warzone.
I think if they're gonna like you say, my hopes for it like let's let's think about what we could do. I mean, that's a totally interesting idea that I just had that would be amazing but couldn't happen. Would be like set the tone early and like have Jigsaw just kill the people that Frank Castle does care about. Like
Take out what's her face.
wouldn't it be so
Karen.
cool? Yeah, wouldn't it be so cool to have like you don't even see it happen, but you like he receives a box and it's like Karen Page's hand or something like that.
That would definitely be a war zone.
Yeah.
style
Oh, yeah.
right there,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like, who was the man in the chair? I forget what his name was.
oh yeah.
Have like his family get killed and like
And then
he
that
get killed.
pushes him to burn the president's pardon
Yeah.
letter.
Yeah. Like
Jump back in the Punisher suit.
right. That's you know.
I mean, obviously they're gonna have to do something like that. It's
Right.
gonna have to be something that's gonna push him, because you know, like even in the first season when it started out and he was trying to be normal and working at that construction site and he
Yeah.
didn't want to be the Punisher anymore.
Hipster
and it was
Punisher.
Like, yeah, it was like, I feel like don't dwell on that again
Right.
in the second season. We
Right.
want you to come out swinging. So in that first episode, like you said, even if it happened between seasons that's off screen,
Right.
and just boom, push him
Yeah.
instantly, where he's just like,
Or even like if there's like a shop owner or somebody that he cares about, like you know, I don't know, like the little bodega down the street, and there's a Mexican lady, and then the Jigsaw just films himself just murdering the hell out of that lady and sends it to Punisher. Like, anyone you care about is now dead,
Right.
and will be dead.
And
I think that sets your great
just
tone.
seeing the dude from the first season that he friggin'
Oh,
drug his face down
that's
the
that.
mirror.
I think that's what I'm most excited for, because that's what I was most excited for in Punisher Warzone, was Jigsaw, the character being
Right.
in there, and seeing how that character was brought to life, and I'm very excited. You know, strike that. Let's open the first episode with like the first half of it is all about Jigsaw.
I was gonna say, don't even show.
Don't even
where
show Frank Castle in the
is.
first half of the episode.
Just show
Just show
Jigsaw
like
tearing
Jigsaw
shit apart.
in a hospital bed, getting the bandages taken off is like how it opens, and then like
Well,
him.
from what we've seen in the pictures, he doesn't look that bad.
He doesn't look that.
From what
bad.
I've read in an article from Netflix saying that Jigsaw is going to be taken in a different direction than we are used to. Which,
Blech.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if like he was kind of like patched up, but then he keeps getting hit in the face, and it just keeps like breaking.
Yeah, like he looks good in the first episode,
Yeah, and
but
then
it just keeps getting worse
yeah,
and worse.
Yeah, like I would like to see that.
That'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, there's not really much we can say about a teaser trailer at the moment.
Yeah, but we're excited.
We're very excited.
In all the Netflix, Marvel losses that we've gotten like recently, it's nice to still have one to
To hold on to.
hold on to.
Hold
like,
on to.
Maybe
grasping.
they won't cancel it because it's not part of that same contract. That's all we can hope.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
DC news. Hey, guess what we have for DC news?
Nada.
Nothing.
Aquaman still doing pretty good.
Yeah.
It beat the box office numbers for Suicide Squad this week.
cool.
Overall.
Oh,
It's
wow.
only Aquaman's second week, and it surpassed overall Suicide Squad's
Good.
numbers. So
Good.
Good on
No,
you,
I mean,
DC.
yeah, cool. I mean, good
Wan,
for them.
whatever his name
James
is.
Wan.
James Wan.
It's nice. I mean, well, because I remember, the first after the first weekend of Suicide Squad's release, the general thought was this is shite.
Right.
And you
It
guys are all
dropped
gonna
off
hate it,
after the
right?
first
Yeah.
week, yeah.
And then, but everything I've been hearing about Aquaman since its release has been positive stuff.
Yeah.
Jess wants to go see it. I was thinking about taking her today to go see it, but we ended up not being able to move this morning. So, what are you gonna do? Yeah, good on you, Aquaman. Good stuff. When's Shazam come out? April?
Yeah, I think most things are coming out around spring.
Yeah.
It seems.
That new, you know why they do that? I don't know either. I was gonna say to get.
I don't know either. You
don't
think
know.
they would? I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I remember when July became like the new big movie time. Like I remember like when
I think because of summer.
summer, yeah,
kids
when
getting
we
off
were
school.
growing up, and it was July, but now it's like April, and I'm like, what are we gonna do? in
They
April?
keep because they have. It was always July because kids are off school. Parents
Right.
are taking their kids to the movies, right?
Yeah.
But then this movie franchise wants to get their movie out a little bit before that movie franchise, so then they would push for June.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly keeps getting pushed back. And now you get like movies that are like, oh, they're coming out in April. And then a month before they're like, actually, we're going to release it a week early. Because they keep
I know
trying
that's
to
why.
beat everyone
That's
else.
why whenever I say like Endgame comes out in May, I hate saying that because I feel like a month
Didn't-
before they moved up Infinity War.
Yeah, they moved up Infinity War. a week.
So I feel like they're gonna move it up to April, and I'm just gonna be an idiot if I keep saying May.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot anyway.
Good point. We're gonna
We're
talk
gonna
next.
tear into Netflix
We
here.
are
We
gonna
gave them a
talk-
little bit of praise, but
We're gonna talk a lot about Netflix here in this next.
They had a big week.
segment. They did have they had a really big week. They had
whether
a
it's good
really
or
big week.
bad, we'll talk more about that.
What do you want to start with?
All right. So Netflix, their big hit this past week, what was it, last Friday? I think Bird Box dropped, and everybody's talking about it.
Bird Box.
Which sounds like, you know, that like nature box, like you get in the mail. Like all those mail things where you get like snacks and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
That's what, every time I hear that, I'm
yeah.
like, is it like a
Where you
box that
get,
comes
like,
in the mail with like
Different
dead birds?
different
Like,
bird feathers.
Yeah.
You get a collection of
it's
bird
like
feathers
it's for
from
like
around the world.
bird watchers, like
Yeah, I would see. I would subscribe to that box. Loot Crate. Fuck you, Loot Crate. I want
Bird
Bird
Box.
Box. I feel like we should trademark that before they do. I don't know. So yeah, as it is with most Netflix things, in the first week that it's available, it is the only thing that people talk about,
Yeah, but
and then
okay.
nobody talks about it after that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Why are people talking about it?
Okay,
It's because of Netflix, not because anyone saw it. Netflix boasts. I have the article, but obviously I don't have my phone anymore. Netflix boasts 45 million users watched Bird Box in the first week, which is the highest. Yeah, it's gonna shut off. Which is the highest number ever that has ever watched a movie on Netflix, and they're boasting about this.
Huh.
And I don't know if you noticed on the internet, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
You could not get on anything without seeing this.
a meme or a GIF
Right.
or a post or a
Here's the thing.
whatever.
They're being accused of. People are saying that there are thousands of fake accounts being made that you can go to and look, and every one of them were created within the last month or week, and the only thing that they are doing is hyping up Bird Box. They're just posting stuff about Bird Box.
I believe it.
So
believe
people are thinking that Netflix are the ones creating these accounts to do this stuff,
I
to
don't-
get the hype out.
I don't doubt it. I
Next, what really, that doesn't even irk me. Okay, that's kind of just like a marketing strategy. Yeah, it's a little bit conniving,
yeah, it's a little bit misleading. For
but it's the same thing as putting out a trailer and posting it on everything, trying to get it out there, trying to get people to see it.
Yeah, having
little bit
people,
of false
having
advertisement.
like people sitting, working in your office, like the studio's office, just sitting there and hitting replay all day on the trailer to make it the most viewed trailer of all
Right.
time.
Well, that's the second thing that irked me was when this whole thing was being hyped up and going on. I got on Netflix. You know what the first thing that popped up real big on my screen was, and instantly started playing?
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
So I didn't click on that.
Right.
I didn't choose to watch that.
Yeah.
They just got to play.
Yeah. Right. No, they do it. I mean, and that's the problem I have with streaming services is that, like, let's say I'm watching a movie, and the movie ends, and maybe I fell asleep during the movie. When I wake up, a different movie is already playing.
Right.
I didn't choose to watch that.
Right.
I don't care about Bird Box, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, it is forced views. It is forcing people, not forcing them to view, but forced plays.
Right. If you have 45 million accounts, people
Yeah.
that have Netflix,
Right.
and they all logged in one day, which most people get on Netflix at least once, maybe 100 times a day.
Yeah.
That means there's your views right
Yeah.
there. That doesn't mean any of those people actually watched that movie.
Right.
And you're on the internet boasting that this is the biggest movie ever and it's doing so well and
Yeah.
everybody loves it and everybody's watching it. And then that gets a hype going
Yeah.
where people are curious about it and
Right.
people do want
Why
to
are
watch
so many people watching this?
Right.
It must be
I
good.
can't count how many people I saw on Courtney's Facebook this past week that were like, literally, word for word, said, Well, I'm about to see what all the hype is about.
Yeah.
Watching Bird Box.
Yeah.
So you're literally just watching it because you've heard so much about it.
Right.
Which, like I said,
It's fun.
when you're saying it, it doesn't sound like a bad thing. It sounds like it's just a really good marketing strategy.
Right.
But it's like dirty. It's just like
Yeah. No, it makes you feel unclean.
it's like they're not doing it in a good like Marvel is not doing that kind of thing with Endgame or Infinity War or any of their movies.
Right.
They're just really good writers and really good.
When they say like Endgame is the most viewed trailer in the first 24 hours of its release, you know that's real.
Yeah, they posted it like one place.
Right.
And boom,
Yeah.
everybody just went balls to the wall with it.
You know it's real whenever they say that.
They're not creating fake accounts to say that this, watch this trailer.
I feel like honestly, like when I look at Netflix right now, January 1st, 2019, I feel like behind the scenes they're in kind of a panic mode. They're losing a lot with Disney, and Disney next year, the end of this year, Disney's gonna fucking pull their wiener out and show Netflix just how small they actually are, and then the content could get worse. And
I was thinking more about the whole Marvel shows being canceled. And from what I understand, those four Marvel shows were the highest budget shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
They were spending more per episode, like as much per episode for one of those shows as they were for most of their original movies.
Yeah.
So like Bird Box probably was a pretty low budget film to make.
It looks like it.
But it made them more money than any movie that they've had so far.
Cool.
So if you're spending $2 billion per episode for Daredevil, and you're only making as much money that you just made on one movie that you spent a fraction of,
Yeah.
I think that's where they're at, money-wise. I think they're trying to stop spending a ton of money without it coming back in, the flow coming back in. So I think we're going to get more of these, like, The Haunting of Hill House series and Bird Box and Black Mirror.
Black Mirror, I feel like, is
like lower budget movies. Like they didn't. That's the weird thing. When I heard Black Mirror came out, I was like, oh shit, season 3, yes. No, it's a movie.
Well,
and it's not. It's really short, and it's not even a movie.
Right. And then I mean season 5 isn't season 5 of Black Mirror coming out?
Oh, maybe whatever.
Yeah, I think they're deep into it. I always wondered. Are we getting close here?
Uh-huh.
All right. I always found it interesting
Camera's
that
fucking up.
not Daredevil. Netflix doesn't release numbers like where the money goes, how much money goes.
No, it's only what they say.
It's what they say, right? And like, there's no advertising like on Netflix. So how do they bring in the money?
I don't think anybody knows how Netflix works.
There's like, for as many people that have Netflix, how many people are actually paying for accounts?
Right, a lot of people are piggybacking off someone else.
Yeah.
That's what my thing is. Like, okay, so you got 45 million views on Bird Box. How did that make you money if you're only making your revenue off of the people who are subscribing to Netflix?
Yeah.
Those people that watched that were already subscribed.
Right.
Yeah, so like I don't think a lot of people know what's going on.
Yeah, see, and that's
Netflix.
like with things like Netflix and Hulu and I actually strike that. I know where Hulu's advertising comes because they run commercials on their streaming service. So I know where their money comes from. And I know they have the deal with the networks. The networks pay them to put their product on day after. So, no, I know where Hulu's money comes from. Netflix is very mysterious to
Hulu's doing Hulu Live now, too.
Yeah, Hulu.
Where you're actually just watching TV.
Hulu's taken over. Plus, Hulu is going to be working directly with Disney+. Disney Plus is going to be filtering content into Hulu. So Hulu is about to show Netflix that, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Netflix, I think they have a lot of shady practices going on. I'm not sure how their views work, how their 45 million, is it actually 45 million people that watched it, or did it play 45 million times? And like you said, did it just play on its own?
Right. That was my thing. It's like, I'm probably one of them views just because that day that it came out, I got on Netflix.
And how long does it
instantly started playing.
and once it starts playing, how long does it take until it constitutes a view?
Well, sometimes you don't realize that it's actually playing the movie.
Right, you think it's a
You
trailer.
think it's a trailer.
Yeah.
It just came up, and you're
Right.
like, oh, it's a new movie. I'm
Yeah.
going to sit here and watch it. And then you're a minute and a half in, and you're like, this is the beginning of the movie.
Right, well, that's
I've been
what we
watching the movie.
we watched Infinity War on Netflix last night because I didn't want to watch it on Vudu and then get kicked off if somebody decided to
Right,
watch it. So we watched it on Netflix, and Jess was queuing it up, and she clicks on it, and then she's on like the screen where it just says play, watch from beginning,
And
blah
it
blah blah.
instantly started
But
playing.
it instantly starts playing, and I was like, no, you can't do that. Back out of that. You got to go to the first screen
Because
and
you got to be
then-
exact with this.
Right. Yeah, we're playing for time here. So yeah, it is like that. If you click on it once and then it starts playing and it's playing for 15 seconds while you're deciding whether you want to watch it or not, is that a view?
Right.
I don't know. Netflix
I mean, I
doesn't
would
tell
assume,
us. these
you know,
things.
YouTube's starting to do that.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
Like when I was scrolling
Yeah,
down through YouTube
yeah.
these past couple of days, the
Yeah.
videos have started instantly playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of weird. And I didn't think it, like, you don't think that it would actually be counting it as you, like, watching it.
It
Like,
does though. Yeah.
But I went into my history today because I was looking for a video that I wanted to go back to that I watched, like, last week.
Right.
And I'm scrolling down through, and all these videos that just, I noticed, like, there's this one that says, follow along with this girl that went to, like, nude beaches all around Europe. I didn't click on that, but I do remember it starting automatically when
Yeah.
I was scrolling down through the main home screen. But it's in my history as watched.
There you go.
I was like,
I don't know what's
all
going
these
on.
things are just kind of like starting to force you to watch things
Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's how they get people to say, like, hey, look at us. We have all these people watching our thing,
Yeah.
but they're not. So moving on to from Netflix's shady practices to Netflix's content.
Trying something new.
Well, let's talk about Bird Box as a.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're gonna talk about Bird
We're going to
Box, yeah.
talk about Bird Box as a thing, its content. So, as we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes, Bird Box released a new movie starring Sandra Bullock.
Neither of us have watched it.
No, yeah, I'm
so
not.
you
yeah,
got to take this with us being judgmental.
judgmental
over a trailer
over a trailer
and
and
the
a
hype.
general sense of hype and kind of like I didn't actively try to avoid spoilers. Whatever.
I mean, it was pretty obvious, like, right off the bat.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the trailer. I just saw a picture
Yeah.
and, like, a kind of like a tagline, and I was like, I instantly went, what are they, ripping off A Quiet Place?
What's your favorite Bird Box GIF or meme that you've seen? Because mine is the Ninja Turtle one, where they have her with her purple thing and like the Ninja Turtles are behind her. I didn't
see that one, but that's gotta be
I'm
good.
gonna look it up. So yeah, it looks like A Quiet Place
Yeah.
when you look at it from the outside.
Yeah. Okay, so A Quiet Place setup is post-apocalyptic alien monsters that are attracted to sound, so they have to be quiet to survive.
Yes.
This movie is post-apocalyptic alien monsters that manipulate you if you see them into doing your worst fear.
Yeah. That's kind of what I got from it.
So you have to blindfold yourself.
Right.
That's about it. It sounds like a ripoff to me.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a direct ripoff, and it coming out at this time does not help the cause.
Nice. That is amazing.
Isn't that something else?
You know?
Woo-wee. That's some funny stuff. No, yeah, you're exactly right. It's Sandra Bullock leading two kids around the woods with blindfolds on, trying to avoid. Because yeah, it's like I guess if you watch it, obviously you'll find out what's causing people to have.
Yeah, because it
This
shows them
go
in the
on.
hospital in that trailer we watched.
Right.
So they were kind of explaining. I wasn't really listening.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you get more of a why
It's
in this movie than you would A Quiet Place, because you didn't really get a why at all.
No.
In Quiet Place.
Right. It's a quiet place. If A Quiet Place had a baby with The Happening, then that's
Yeah,
your
that's
Bird
what I've
Box.
heard from people that have watched it.
Yeah.
Was that it it's not directly said, but you kind of start figuring out that it's from the plants.
It's always the fucking plants.
It's because we're destroying our planet, and everybody's trying to say that the planet's gonna fight back, even though it's not.
Even though it's not. Just because M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong says that something's gonna happen doesn't mean it's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So I don't care for Sandra Bullock.
There's a breeze coming through the field. Run!
I don't care for Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, neither do I.
So I'm not gonna actively try to watch
I
this.
feel like the last movie I watched, like,
What's some of the last?
actually watched with her in it, was Miss Congeniality.
Like
when it first came out.
I'll say this. I like Miss Congeniality.
It's so bad. She's so bad.
It's like it's a funny movie that you could just sit there and make fun of. Like I'll like
It's
to
like
watch it for
Legally
that.
Blonde.
Yeah, I like watching Legally Blonde to make fun of it, which is hard to say now that I think of it. Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
I like Speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of early Keanu Reeves movies. As much as
Really?
I love Keanu Reeves, I love
That's
his
interesting.
newer stuff. I love when he started going all kung fu.
Do you like Hardball?
Hardball, eh.
I like Hardball. It's a nice story.
I think the only old one I can really say that I like Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, of course.
And I like what's the one where they jump out of the airplane?
Point Break.
Point Break's all
Everybody
right.
likes Point Break.
Because I mean, what's his face?
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze's in that. You can't.
Plus Flea is in that.
Flea's in that.
Flea is
A lot
in
of
it?
good people are in that.
Yeah.
movie.
John C. McGinley's
And
in that.
no
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock. So
No
that's
Sandra
a
Bullock.
plus.
Who's the lady in that
That
one? I
last
forget
movie
her.
she was in, where she in space, just floating around, being annoying for 2 hours.
Gravity.
Yeah, there you go.
That one's kind of hard to watch. I guess
I wouldn't even put myself through that torture.
it's funny how they market that movie to where like George Clooney's in it, but George Clooney's like hardly in it. Like,
It's basically just her
Yeah.
floating around in space.
yeah. What were we talking about? We were talking about
Bird
something.
Box.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Bird
We're gonna
Box.
subscribe to Bird Box.
Yeah, we're gonna subscribe to Bird Box.
It gives you like binoculars,
You get
some bird seed.
You get 8 bird feathers from around the world.
Bird
A
feathers.
month. Yeah, so that's cool.
Dude, a falcon killed itself in my carport.
Yeah.
And like you said that to me, and I hadn't actually went down there and looked at it. I thought you were joking just
No.
because it was a big bird.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I went out and something had brought it
Probably a raccoon.
sat it right on my sidewalk. And I walked around the corner and I went,
With
what
its
the
head-
fuck is that? And I walked down and looked at it, and it's just laying there. It was probably a little bit over a foot.
Yeah.
And
It's
I looked
huge.
at it and I went, holy shit, that's an actual falcon.
Yeah.
Like that, I looked it up. That's a falcon.
Yeah.
A falcon
I,
committed suicide
yeah,
in my
I-
carport.
It was. Whenever I leave Corey's place on podcast, there's like the area in front of his car, and there's like leaves, and I always like to relieve myself right there because I'm a savage.
And there's a bathroom here.
There's
and
a bathroom there, there's a
upstairs.
bathroom up there, but I just do my own thing because I'm a rebel. Last week I almost had a heart attack because there's this foot-long falcon just dead.
A beautiful bird, man.
Beautiful bird, just
Freaking talons are like 2 inches long.
dead. Scared the hell out of me.
And there's like a little bird right above it laying on the windowsill that also committed suicide in
Yeah.
that exact same spot.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's not like that glass is clean.
it's like no, it's not.
And you
yeah.
would think if that falcon was flying, you
Into
think
the
it would have
car-
went
yeah.
straight through that window. 'Cause that
Right.
stuff is brittle. It's
Right.
not glass. It's like plastic, plexiglass.
plexiglass.
Yeah.
Bird Box.
That was more interesting than what we were
I
talking about.
know, okay, yeah, we got more into the dead falcon than Bird Box. Bird Box, watch it if you want. Don't. Netflix already made
At least
you watch
if you
it.
watch it, it'll be an actual view.
Yeah, Netflix already made you watch it, so whatever.
Right.
Um,
They already made up their mind that it's their hit, their best movie. They
so
ever made.
right, yeah, okay. So here's some last thing I want to say about that subject is the problem that I have with Netflix things is that it like with your movies, like all right, let's release this movie right before the new year. Everyone's gonna talk about it for a week, and then no one's gonna fucking remember it for we have 51 more weeks where no one's gonna talk about this movie.
Right.
Like they you know they build and they build and they build and they you know and then they release it and then I don't care.
That's because people watch them and they go, you know what? It's actually not that good.
When are you gonna watch it again? Right? Are you gonna watch it
Right.
again? Are you gonna watch it in
It's not like
August?
Infinity
or-
War. It's not like you put it on weekly.
Right. I don't know. It's not like A Quiet Place 2, where it's like a stunning movie where you
Yeah,
want to
no,
watch it all
Quiet
the
Place
time.
is written
It's
well.
just-
The filming is beautiful.
Right.
The sensory deprivation makes that movie
Yeah.
scary.
Right.
This movie, she's wearing a blindfold. It's not going to make me feel like I'm in her shoes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, The Quiet Place was quiet.
There's an interesting movie idea. Black screen, but there's still
sound.
the sound. Yeah, like
Well, it's kind of like Daredevil season 3, where
Yeah.
his ears were effed up,
Yeah.
and they muffled the sound, and me and you were like, we can't hear what she's saying.
can't hear you. Yeah, I don't know, Bird Box, whatever. Watch it if you want. I don't give a fuck.
And then a week later,
Yeah,
they released a new Black Mirror
it's a Black Mirror movie. Interactive movie. Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
Which Bandersnatch.
It's a book.
Oh, okay.
It's a book about a dude who wrote, who made was trying to make a video game, and went crazy and killed his wife
Ooh.
over going insane.
Ooh.
And this kid is now also trying, or no, the dude was trying to write a book about it.
Right.
And the kid is trying to make a video game about the book that the guy was trying to write. And now the kid is afraid he's also going to go insane,
He's
just like
gonna go
that
insane. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, as we've been saying, it's an interactive movie. So you decide
guy. Choices
as to where
that
the
can-
movie goes.
that can affect your outcome.
And apparently, from what I've heard, there was something like 41 million
That's bullshit.
different
Nope.
ways that it can go. But
There's one.
But there's 5 main kind of ways that you can get there.
All right, so I put it on.
Did you watch it?
I put it on Friday night.
Okay.
As soon as I saw that it was up, I think that was the day it came out. I put it on that night when my daughter went to bed, and I didn't know it was interactive when I put it on.
Right, I
It
didn't know
came
it
up
was-
and said you need to have your remote because you're going to be making choices, and I was like, oh shit, because last week I was on the kids for Stella,
Okay, yes.
and I saw a Minecraft
yes.
video that said interactive, and I went, what the heck? And I clicked on it, and it was an interactive video. And I
So-
said to Courtney, this is kind of weird.
So apparently what Netflix had been doing for the last year is on their children's menu a lot of interactive,
Which I had no
things.
idea.
Which, yeah. So, but they were kind of testing the waters because if kids like it, adults are going to like it. If you just gear it towards adults.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Netflix had been quietly doing for the last year interactive things on their children's menu. So
And I dig those kinds of games that do that.
Yeah.
That change the ending because of what you choose in conversation or
Right.
wherever you go. That's kind of cool.
yeah.
So to do it in a movie would be kind of sweet, and Black Mirror is probably your best bet to do it through.
Right.
So I was excited.
Although Cloverfield would have been better.
Cloverfield would have been sweet.
Stay in or go outside. Go outside. Ah!
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so I started watching it.
Yes.
Had my PlayStation controller in hand.
There you go.
First choice. He comes downstairs for breakfast, and it says
Choose a cereal.
cereal. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then later on, you see a commercial on the TV for that same cereal, and I assume it probably wouldn't be that cereal if I wouldn't have picked that cereal.
Correct,
That's all I
Amundo.
can see there.
Yeah.
Oh, you did watch it?
I learned a lot about it.
Okay. Here's my gripe.
There it is.
As I'm getting into this and I'm making choices,
Yeah.
the first big choice. Spoilers, by the way. I'm
Spoilers.
going to spoil the crap
It's
out of it 'cause
Netflix.
You can't
It's
not
Netflix.
spoil it.
F you.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
You go into you've been designing a video game. You go into this video game place to meet this executive, and he offers you a job.
Mm.
And he says, we'll give you a whole staff. We're going to pump out your video game. We're going to work on it. We're going to make it great. But it has to be out. It's like July at this point. And he says it has to be out by November.
It's set in the 80s, if
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
1984 or something like that. So basically, they give you like 3 or 4 months to finish a video game, which is insane,
Yeah.
and get it out on shelves. And this kid's like kind of hesitant, and then it makes you choose, take the job or decline. And I'm like thinking, from my perspective, if I'm a video game independent kid in my garage in 1984 and I get offered this, hell yeah, I'm going to take it. So I said yes. And the one kid that is also working there, who's kind of working with that executive, walks over to you and puts his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, "Sorry, kid, wrong choice." And then it just ends, and it starts back over at the beginning. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, I was like, I thought if you make a choice, it's going to put you on a different path,
Right.
not say you're wrong and make you choose their path.
Yeah. That's forced views right there.
And the rest of the movie was that way. You could choose whatever you wanted, but then something bad would happen and you would die, or something would happen and it would rewind, and then you go back and you have to make the choice again, and so you pick the other choice that they want you to
Why don't
pick.
you just fucking write the movie your way?
Right. There was no reason for it other than to see what would happen if I choose this, but then I got to go back and change it anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, you go over to this friend's house, who's the video game kid that's working with you, because you're all jumbled up in your head and you're having anxiety attacks and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he gives you acid, and you take acid with him. And then he's sitting out on the balcony with you, and he says, time is not a real thing. Like, we can do whatever we want, and there's no consequences. Like, you could jump off this balcony right now, and it will be fine. And then he's like, do it. And then it comes up and it says, jump off balcony or tell him to do it. So I went, F it, maybe the kid's right. Jump off the balcony. And you die. And it starts you back over. And then you have to choose the other option to tell him to jump. So he jumps so you don't die. So they just forced you to make their choices the whole time. And unlike most Black Mirror episodes, within the first 10 seconds, I knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, right.
He was sitting there, you make the choice for him, and he makes the choice for the cereal, and then he goes, and he kind of like weirdly looks around the room, like for something.
Right.
And I looked at Courtney and I said, oh, how much you want to bet the twist of this movie is that I am actually controlling this kid's life.
Yeah.
And he's going to realize that at some point. And that's exactly what happened.
All right. So, interactive television shows or movies or what have
I think
you.
it could have been great. You know what it did do right? I know every detail of that movie.
Yeah.
I never could look away. Because if I did, I would miss something, and then I wouldn't know what the choice was, and you only have 10 seconds to make the choice.
That's
So
interesting.
from beginning to end, I was sitting there with the controller in my hand, and I remember every detail of it.
That's interesting.
And I went through a ton of different paths, too, which was kind of cool to see what I could have made happen, but just the fact that they kept pushing me to do what they wanted pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So.
And they didn't know what they were doing in the writing. By about halfway through, you could tell they had no fucking clue where they were going.
Yeah, see. All right, so here's my problem with the whole interactive television thing is that like there's no end, or there is an end, but it's so convoluted how you get there, and it is weird. And then there's another thing. There's my forced views is that you're like you pick something, and then you see how it plays out, but then you go back and watch it again and pick the different thing and see how that plays out, and then you're watching the same movie like 600 times.
Yeah, there's this part when he's in his bedroom, and it's later on in the movie, and it's when he's starting to figure out that someone's controlling him, right? And he's working on his video game, and it tells you to it's hard to explain, but when he's sitting in front of his computer at this one point, I won't even talk about the other part, but he's sitting in front of his computer, and he gets pissed because his video game's not working out, and it says destroy computer, or like throw something up against the wall. And I hit destroy computer, and he goes to pick up his coffee and spill it on the computer, and he goes like this, and he starts shaking because he's trying to stop himself from doing what you just told him to do. And he sets his mug down, and he goes, who the fuck are you? What are you doing? Like, why are you controlling me? And he's like screaming up. And then it comes up, and you have a choice of what you want to tell him. And there's these two different things that they set up in the movie. There's a symbol that the dude in the book went crazy over, or there's this PAX, which is something control system from the government that's controlling you that he also thinks might be happening. where these people, his parents, aren't his actual parents, and they've been controlling every situation in his life since he was a kid. So I put the little symbol just to fuck with him, and the computer haywires, and then the symbol comes up on the computer, and then he loses his shit, and he runs down in the kitchen, and his dad's trying to calm him down, and then the whole thing kept pushing you to kill your dad. And I kept going away from the kill your dad thing, and it kept bringing me back to the kill your dad. So he's in his kitchen, and it says, kill your dad with the ashtray or back off. And I'm like, back off. And then it loops around, and it brings me back to the computer, and it asks me again, and I put the other one, the PACS, and he goes down in the kitchen, and it says, kill your dad or back off. And I hit back off. And then the third time I hit back off, he didn't want to make that choice. He's like, fuck you, Dad. I know that you've been controlling me since I was a kid. I know what PAX is. And he picks up the ashtray and he smashes his dad's head and kills him anyway, even though you told him not to. And then the rest of the movie is like, he calls a psychiatrist and he's like, I fucking killed him and I'm coming after you next. And I buried him in the backyard. And it goes the complete opposite way of what you wanted it to go. And then it loops back around. And then you do this other one where he goes and sees a psychiatrist. He doesn't kill his dad.
Right.
He goes to see a psychiatrist and tell her, oh, it goes back to the computer. Third time it goes back to the computer, it asks you for a choice to what to tell him. And instead of saying PAX, it says Netflix. So you pick Netflix, and it tells him Netflix on his computer screen. And he goes, I don't know what the fuck that is. And it says explain. So I hit explain. And it says, I'm watching you for entertainment on a service in the 21st century for my entertainment, and I'm making your choices. And he's like... And he says, I think I need to go to the psychiatrist. So he goes to the psychiatrist, tries to explain it to her, and she said, this is where it goes goofy and fucked up. This is why they didn't know what to do.
Wait, this is where it goes goofy.
Oh, real bad. He tells her what's going down. She says, okay, so if this is real, we'll run with it. Wouldn't you, if you're being watched for entertainment, wouldn't you be doing something more entertaining than just sitting in a room as a boring kid talking to a boring woman about your problems? And then it comes up on the screen, yes or fuck yeah. So I clicked fuck yeah. So he picks up his coffee, throws it in her face. She falls back off the couch, stands up, pulls out 2 batons, and says, bring it on, bitch. And then they go into this crazy kung fu fighting match, beating the shit out of each other. And then it turned into a video game at that point. It was asking me, kick her, do this. Or his dad comes in, grabs him by the throat. It says, kick dad in the balls or karate chop him. So I kicked him in the balls. It says, jump out the window or beat the shit out of your dad. So I beat the shit out of my dad. And then the next one was him in jail. And then it said, go to credits. So I went to the credits and that was it. But like, it was so serious up until that point when I was like thinking, they have no fucking clue what to do next.
No idea.
And then once I clicked Netflix, it just went, well, now we're just having fun and being stupid with it.
Yeah, right. All right, so I don't care for interactive things like this. It's not my cup of tea. I mean, if you guys like it, that's fine. I'm not gonna hate on you for doing it.
It's not a video game. If I want an interactive experience that with cinematic looking, video games look that way nowadays.
Right.
So why not just play a video game?
Yeah.
If I'm watching a movie, I just want to sit back and watch a movie.
Exactly. Exactly.
I agree.
I just don't.
It was a cool experiment.
It's a cool experiment, and like I said, if they do it again, I'd like to see them do it with Cloverfield.
And do it better.
Just
flesh it out. Figure out what you're going to do at
Right.
the end. Don't just be like tongue-in-cheek, like we're not even taking ourselves seriously.
Right.
10 minutes left in the movie.
It's so, yeah, it gets so meta.
You just wasted my time.
Right. You just meted the shit out of it, which, whatever. If that's the way people want to go these days, I can't stop them, but I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I just am not interested. I honestly, and I've never said this out loud, and a lot of people are probably gonna, if you want to blow up the comment section and hate on me for saying it, at least you're commenting. I don't care for Black Mirror.
I don't like you anymore. Black Mirror is amazing.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
So good.
But I'm just not so crazy about it like everybody else is.
I loved everything about it.
I think it's.
And that's what pissed me off even more.
I think it. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then you get to this
Being
point.
a huge fan, and then seeing that
we
haven't heard anything of Black Mirror in so long, and I've been waiting to see if they were going to come out with another season because they pushed themselves to the limit.
Yeah.
With 4 or 5 seasons going on, and I guess my phone is still working.
There you go.
And then being like, here's more. Oh, it's a movie. Oh, it's interactive. Oh, it's only like an hour long.
Right.
It wasn't that good.
Did they, since Black Mirror tends to be more technology based and technology is going to kill you kind of thing, is that like, did they build this interactive thing and then just say, you know, fuck it, Black Mirror fans will like it, give it to Black Mirror?
Probably.
Like,
That's why they didn't want to put it in an episode. They could
Right.
have easily made this an episode in the new season.
It would have been
But
cool.
they kind of separated it
Yeah.
and made it its own thing. Which, they still put the label Black Mirror on it, which I thought was
Now,
disappointing. But if it would have just been an episode, I wouldn't have been as disappointed.
If Bandersnatch is a success, do you see Netflix doing this more with different things, like I say, Cloverfield, or, I mean, if it were still going on, maybe Orange is the New Black, or
I don't know.
And then could that potentially ruin the content that we're seeing? Because like if you like Black Mirror, but you don't like Black Mirror Bandersnatch, what are your thoughts going into season 5 of Black Mirror? Are you confident? Are you?
I don't think.
Fuck.
I think the reason they separated it is because they're not going to do that in the new season.
Right.
I don't see them doing that in any other series because it's too hard.
It's too hard.
The writing.
I don't want to do it.
No, not even for me. The writers.
Oh yeah.
That's why I said halfway through that you could tell they had no idea
Right.
where to go.
Oh, you gotta write.
There's too many outcomes once
Yeah.
you start giving people choices that have to be fleshed out and continued.
Yeah.
But they took the easy way out and just kept forcing you to go back and do
Right.
it again.
Yeah.
Which is not what an interactive
not even a little
choice-based
bit.
thing is supposed
Not
to
even
be.
a little bit.
So if you
gotta-
give it like to Orange is New Black or something, those people are not going to be happy having it just fall apart at the end of each episode.
You got to
or
write
whatever,
30 different stories. You got to film 30 different stories.
30
You got to
different
hope
outcomes.
that maybe 30 different outcomes. Maybe somebody will watch it. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
too much.
I don't think interactive television is at all perfected. Because even the video games, it kind of can be disappointed at a time.
Yeah.
And even like the old PC games, that can be very frustrating, and very boring.
And that's what this was basically trying to be. It was based off like those old games.
Those
where
old
you had a
90s,
text-based.
right?
Oh,
yeah.
can I go down this hallway? What if I talk to this person? And it did change the outcome. But those were so low level. Like they could make those games in a couple of months.
I know, like wrestling does that. Wrestling games do that, to where in the story mode or the career mode or whatever, however you choose to interact with people decides whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, and that's
That's a video game.
that's a video
That's
game,
that's
and
the
it's
point.
fine and it works, right? And I'm used to
A
it.
movie, you
know.
want to have someone else already figured out how
Yeah.
this movie is going to go and where it needs to be, and then you sit back and you watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, if they were to make a movie where it's like interactive, but I'm not doing the interaction,
I don't know how that would work.
I don't know how that would work
Maybe they
either.
just put one of those helmet things on that, like, you
Yeah.
just do it from your brain, so you don't have to lift your hands.
That would be nice too. That would be nice too. And then how does it work with if people that don't watch it on a PlayStation?
That's what I had talked to McGee. He
Okay.
watched it, and
All right.
he
Is it just a remote?
he said he didn't make it the whole way through because it pissed him off because it was just too annoying trying to click through to the different choices. And I said, "Don't you have a PlayStation?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, why were you clicking? Why weren't you using
have a
your
smart
controller?"
TV?
And he was like, "I was watching it on my PC." And I said, "Weird. He never leaves his PC. Like he just doesn't. He sits in front of that computer, and that's where he does everything."
He's a weird man.
But yeah, he said using the mouse, using a controller, he said it was just annoying. Because that's what I had said to Courtney when I first sat down and started watching it. It showed a picture of a PlayStation controller and explained to me what to do.
Oh, probably knows what you're watching on.
And I was thinking, what if someone doesn't have a PlayStation?
They
Do you
probably
guys
have an
like
Xbox
click
controller
with a fucking remote?
Yep. Yeah.
It sucks.
That sucks. Interactive TV. If you like it, good for you. If you don't, you're on my team.
And just something I had talked about last night with my family. All you developers out there, for everything that's coming out nowadays, just keep in mind, I know it's a small percentage of people, but just keep in mind that there are disabled human beings. There are people who cannot see your screen. how is a blind person supposed to use any of these streaming services?
Interesting.
You do not have a remote control. Just saying. Just keep that in mind. Like, people like to be able to go like this and control it. I know we're getting more and more into... I don't even know. Like, I had a few people complain to me last night. Like, my brother Chris.
Yeah.
He was saying he's tired of all these... Like, we're constantly trying to beat the cable company and find something to watch for TV.
Right.
But he doesn't like the fact that he can't just click from channel to channel. He has to go out, go to a menu, look for different shows from different places, find different episodes, click one, and then that's it. And then he has to back out and do it all over again to find something else.
Yeah.
He can't just click through, even on TV services. You can't just click from channel to channel. You still have to back out to a menu and pick that network.
Yeah. That's
They
interesting.
need to make them more cable-like.
Yeah, if you're trying to
Give
beat
you a
cable.
remote.
Right. Agreed. Interesting.
Damn, we're pushing an hour.
Yeah. Plus, we got a weekly strange. Yeah, I just looked it up. Bandersnatch. Watch it if you want. If you don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna close out the first episode of the new year with weekly strange. What I found here, it says 6 crazy New Year's traditions and superstitions you should try, but
Don't do laundry on New Year's.
we're gonna
ever hear
rename
that?
it. No, I've never heard that. We're gonna rename it 6 strange New Year's traditions and superstitions you should try. So let's get it kicking off here. Wear red underwear, find love. That's red.
Hey!
In Mexico and other Latin American countries, red, green, and gold or yellow underwear are abundant at clothing stores right before New Year's Eve. People wear red underwear to find love, green or yellow and gold for wealth, and white for peace in the new year. So sometimes your underwear can decide what kind of year you had. I had many different colored underwear on last night, so I'm going to have a pretty exciting year. Pack your suitcase, travel more. In Colombia and other Spanish-speaking countries, people will grab their suitcase and carry them around all day or walk around the block with them at midnight to travel more in the new year.
Okay.
If
Or
you
you
want to
could just
travel
travel.
more in the new
Like,
year,
just do it.
buy a fucking plane ticket and go.
Pack that suitcase rather than just walk around with it.
Yeah, right.
And go somewhere.
And just get the fuck out of there. If you want to travel more in the new year, book a flight for midnight and fucking go.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a superstitious
That doesn't
thing.
seem
It's
like
what are
it's-
they
it's-
expecting to get, like a free thing in the
Yeah,
mail? Like,
right,
if I
yeah.
walk around with my suitcase, I'll get a free
That's weird.
trip to Guatemala.
Eat 12 grapes at midnight. Have 12 grapes ready. Make a wish for each one, which represents every month of the year.
Wow.
In Spain, people eat them at the stroke of
Fucking
midnight.
Spanish people.
Yeah, and you just get it. It kind of keeps on going
They got
that
their
way.
grapes in their suitcases.
Sweep away negativity. Make sure your house is fresh and clean before midnight. In many Latin American countries, cleaning and getting rid of the year's trash is a way of preventing negativity from lingering into the new year.
They haven't cleaned their house like all year. They just do it on
I
New
know,
Year's.
right? Yeah, it's just like so much work. Eat black-eyed peas for prosperity. Many people in the southern part of the United States believe that eating black-eyed peas...
cannibalism?
Because of the band. Eating black-eyed peas or black-eyed pea stew as a New Year's dish can help bring financial prosperity in the new year.
I thought eating a strand of sauerkraut on New Year's was supposed to give you good luck and good fortune for the year.
According to the Pennsylvania Dutch, yes, but this is according to people
Well,
in the
I
South.
am German.
And then finally, probably the strangest one, scare away the bad, burn a newspaper stuffed scarecrow.
Oh.
In
That'd be
Ecuador.
cool.
That would be
You'd
awesome.
see
No,
someone-
I'm so into this
Someone
one.
would walk past your yard and see it would look like a cross.
It would look like a
burning
cross.
in your yard.
I'm
but
so-
you're like,
I'm-
no, it's a scarecrow.
I'm so into this one, actually. In Ecuador, as soon as the clock strikes midnight, families will head outside to burn a newspaper-stuffed scarecrow. It represents anything bad that happened in the year, and burning it is meant to scare away any negativity in the new year. I'm actually really into that one.
that's cool.
Just because I think it would be cool to burn a goddamn scarecrow in my yard at midnight.
One that I heard yesterday
what you
was don't do laundry on the New Year's Day because you will lose a loved one that year. Yeah, like real morbid.
That's vicious.
Yeah.
So if you already did laundry,
You're
I'm
effed.
sorry for your loss, I
Yep.
guess. That's weird. Yeah, my house stinks like sauerkraut. And
I love sauerkraut.
I don't
so
like
if you're supposed to eat a
sauerkraut.
strand for good luck and good fortune, I ate a lot of good fortune
The
last
luckiest
night.
motherfucker in 2019 right here.
I eat sauerkraut and pork like once a month.
There you go.
Courtney makes it for me because it's one of my favorites.
I'm not a sauerkraut guy, so that's
It's my Germanness.
you're
Germanian.
Geranium, the Geranium Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note,
We made it.
we made it. Thank you again, like we said last week. Thank you for everything in 2018. Get ready for 2019. We've already started to step it up, and we're gonna keep getting there.
Check out the channel. I got a new series
Oh
I
yeah,
came up with
no.
this
Let's
past
talk
week.
about. I want to talk about that real quick. This guy over here starts a new series for the Suicide Moses Productions YouTube channel called, what is it called?
Let's draw.
Let's Draw.
Time-lapse videos.
Time-lapse drawing videos where he's been crushing it, doing great things, and I love how you you get people interactive.
Doing
where-
the polls.
Yeah, you do the
I love that I've
polls
been
and-
doing that, and people have actually been voting.
Yeah,
so I
I've been
can actually,
voting.
like-
I've been voting.
Like I already have them all drawn. I already did them.
Right.
So like I don't have to worry about like rushing or anything.
You know, 20 plus views on each video, and
Oh, I'm pushing 40 on most of them now. And I got a few comments. I got a dude that commented on the first one who has his own art channel. I can't remember his name right now, but he gave me some good words, and he said he subscribed, and he is a new viewer, and I was like, awesome. That's great.
Let's Draw. Check it out on the Suicide Moses production channel. It's just a big year for us. 2019, we're going to get huge. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Strange Planet Podcast. We have been your hosts. This has been
Corey James.
And I've been Anthony Zavatek. Have a strange day.